beginning of the year, in our annual meeting, I warned our small team that good times don't last.
We are near the top of an economic cycle. Every 7 to 10 years, people forget that the market experiences a pretty significant correction. Now, that does not mean that I think that there's going to be an economic downturn explicitly in 2020, but all of the historical traditional markers of that type of occurrence are starting to bubble up. If we are cognizant of our limited resources, if we are cultivating these 3 distinct revenue streams, then that is the type of thing that allows our business to just survive.
The recession is here. It's hitting travel companies, airlines, and physical retail particularly hard. There are a bunch of entrepreneurs that have never been through a recession before and are trying to figure out what to do. A lot of them won't make it. If you want to be one that does, we'd suggest taking advice from the folks that have navigated through rough waters before. Paul Graham co-founded the world's most famous startup accelerator, Y Combinator. In an essay published during the 2008 recession, he advised, "The surest route to success is to be the cockroaches of the corporate world. The immediate cause of death in a startup is always running out of money. So the cheaper your company is to operate, the harder it is to kill." And fortunately, it has gotten very cheap to run a startup. A recession will, if anything, make it cheaper still. The more budgets have bloated during good times, the more painful it will be to cut down. Not all leaders will be cut out for this. Venture capitalist and author of The Hard Thing About Hard Things, Ben Horowitz, draws an important distinction between a peacetime CEO and a wartime CEO.
On the other hand, right, if you're running out of cash, or if you're like Apple when Steve Jobs first took over and they had 3 weeks of cash left and so forth, that's not affordable in the decision-making process. You've got to get to a very accurate decision extremely quickly. That's when the wartime techniques come into play.
A peacetime CEO knows what to do with a big advantage. A wartime CEO is paranoid. A peacetime CEO builds scalable, high-volume recruiting machines. A wartime CEO does that, but also builds HR organizations that can execute layoffs. Peacetime CEO is going to be setting big, hairy, audacious goals. A wartime CEO is too busy fighting the enemy to read management books written by consultants who have never managed a fruit stand. Horowitz's wartime general leadership led him to eventually sell his startup Opsware to Hewlett-Packard for $1.6 billion in cash. But recessions aren't just about managing losses. They're also an opportunity to gain ground. But you've got to move fast. Pete Flint was building Trulia, a real estate startup, during the 2008 housing market crash. He suggests anyone can be a chess grandmaster if they can move 2 times before their opponent moves. During a downturn, you have an opportunity to get 3 moves ahead. Incumbents will be doubly slow during a crisis. So lock in inventory, secure partnerships, and do other things that take incumbents much longer. Trulia ended up getting acquired by Zillow for $3.5 billion. At the top of a market cycle, entrepreneurs can afford to be slow and choosy about their investors, customers, and strategic decisions. In a downturn, that goes out the window. Be decisive and focused. Good luck.